सुनंदंतरिदं याचे पुनः पुनः श्रीमद्रूपपदाम्बोज धूलिस्यां जन्म जन्मनि अनर्पितचरिं चिरात् कर्णावतीर्णा कलौ समर्पयितुमुन्नतो जलरसां स्वभक्तिश्रियं हरिपुरटसुन्दरतिथिकदम्बसन्दीपिता सदा कंदरे स्फुरतु शचिनन्दना संसार दुःख जलधौ परितस्य कामा क्रोधादिन कर्मकरै कबलीकृतस्य दुर्वासना निगडितस्य निराश्रयस्य चैतन्य चन्द्रमम देहि पदावलम्बम् चैतन्य चन्द्रममरुत्कुमुदं विकास्य रुद्धं विधेहि निज चिन्तन भृङ्गरङ्गैः किञ्चापराधतिबिडं निविडं विधूय पादामृतं सदयपाय दुर्गतं मां संकर्षणाकारणतोयशायि गर्भोदिशायि च पयोदिशायि शेषस्य शांसकलासनित्यानन्दाख्यरामा शरणं ममास्तु। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्जल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्ते दिनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत ध्वांतहारिणे। First of all, offer my millions of obeisances unto the lotus feet of Asmade Gurupad Padma Nityala Prashta Jagat Guru Shri Srimad Bhakti-Vidanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, and also offer obeisances to the lotus feet of Tridandi Sannyasi Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Dandi Maharaj. I also offer my millions and millions of own obeisances to the lotus feet of Nam Nishta Santa Shanrud Das Prabhuji. Today we are celebrating the holy appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Prabhupada. So I offer my millions and millions of obeisances to the founder of Sri Gaudiya Math, Akar Matra Sri Chaitanya Math, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Prabhupada. And if Prabhupada would not have come to this world, I don't think we would be hearing this class. Sometimes they say that there are actually three mridangas. One is actually the mridanga which you play, khol. It is called in Bengal, it's called khol, mridanga, mrid, yasya anga. Mrid means clay. That his body is made of clay, that is called mridanga. But that mridanga is heard only to a short distance. But then there is another mridanga called Brihad Mridanga. Brihad Mridanga is the book publication. So many books have been published. Jaiva Dharma by Srila Gurudev, Bhakti Rasanta Sindhu, then Ujjwala Nilamani. All these books, these are called Brihad Mridanga. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Maharaj, he published Bhagavad Gita as it is. So these books people read and they became devotees. That is called Brihad Mridanga. Today is also the disappearance day of Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Gaur-Govinda Maharaj. Srila Gaur-Govinda Maharaj, he was a disciple of Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Swami Maharaj, very exalted devotee and amazing realizations he had. He was in the line of Srila Gurudev, or maybe Gurudev was in his line. Both were in each other's line. Understand? Both were God brothers. Because Srila Gurudev was also Shiksha disciple of Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Swami Maharaj, and Srila Gaur-Govinda Maharaj was the Diksha disciple of Srila Swami Maharaj. Shiksha, Diksha disciple are non-different, so both are in one and the same line. So you can see here, Srila Prabhupada is called here as the most beloved to Varshabhanavi Devi Radhika. Radharani, her name is called Varshabhanavi Devi. Why she is called Varshabhanavi Devi? Because Varshabhanu Maharaj had no son, had a son by the name Shridama, but he had no daughter. And one day he went to take bath in Jamuna in Raval. Raval means a king. In Vrindavan, in Braj, there are two kings. One is Nanda Maharaj, one is Vrishabhanu Maharaj. Raval is a title given to the king. So when he went to take bath in Jamuna, he found one beautiful girl in a Shata Sahasradala Kamal. Means a lotus which has 1,000 petals. And in that lotus, he found a very beautiful golden complexion girl. She was Vrishabhanu Nandini. Nandini means in Sanskrit one who gives happiness to the father. Vrishabhanu. He is actually Vrishabhanu. Vrisha means bull, and he is the possessing so many cows and bulls is Vrishabhanu Maharaj. So, actually, Radharani has so much love and affection from her mother Kirtida, but her father's love and affection excels her mother's love and affection. And it is opposite with Krishna. And Krishna is having so much love and affection for Nanda Maharaj, but Yashoda's love and affection surpasses the love and affection of Nanda Maharaj. And it is true even in the material world, it is generally the mother who loves the son the most and the father who loves the daughter the most. It's always that like that. So anyways, maybe that tendency is coming from the spiritual world. Everything in the spiritual world is manifest and reflected in a topsy-turvy, perverted manner in this material world. And therefore, in the material world also, the fathers love their daughters and mothers love their sons. So, Vrishabhanandini Srimati Radhika, her beloved devotee, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Prabhupada, appeared in this world exactly 148 years ago. You see that now a 3 year grand celebration has begun from today, and it was Sri Ramnath Kovind ji. Ramnath Kovind ji is actually the President of India. He comes from the backward class, means the downtrodden class. But Sri Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, made sure that this great person, Sri Ramnath Kovind ji, became the President of India. So he inaugurated this 3-year-long celebration for the appearance of 150th appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. In year 2024, we all, Gaudiya Math, ISKCON, and all the devotees, Prabhupada family, will be celebrating the 150th appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, because he is the one who is the pioneer of Gaudiya Math. So, he is giving us the realization, Sambandha Vigyan of our eternal relationship with Radha and Krishna. So that's why we say, Shri Varshabhanave Devi Daitaya Krupabdhe Krishna Sambandha Vigyana Daine Prabhave Namah. Without relationship with Krishna, we cannot advance in bhakti. And that's what Guru does. He gives us the relationship with Krishna. And that is what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada is giving us. That relationship is Madisha Nathatve Vrajavipina Chandram Vrajavaneswarim Ta Nathatve Tadana Sakitve Tu Lalitam Vishakham Shikshali Vitrana Gurutve Priya Saru Girendra Tat Preksha Lalitarte Datve Smaramana. Oh, I should regard Radharani as my Swamini, Vishakha and Lalita be my Shiksha Gurus, and with the mercy of Shri Giraj Govardhan and Radhakund, I will attain that service. That relationship, actually, I am a devotee of Krishna, but not a direct devotee of Krishna. I am an indirect devotee. I am a devotee of Radharani. And because Radharani loves Krishna, I also have devotion for Krishna. But my primary focus is Radharani. This is what the name Varshabhanevi Devi Daita Das represents. What is Varshabhanevi Devi Daita Das? The Radharani has beautiful eyes. In Radha Krupa Tataksha Stavaraj, in Urdhva Amnaya Tantra, Lord Shiva, or some people say Narad Muni, has said that Chakora Shava Lochane, Tada Karishasya Maham, that her eyes are restless like a chakora bird, and like a small baby doe. So like that beautiful eyes of Radharani, that beauty, everyone loves the eyes, right? We love our eyes the most. Without eyes, our life has no meaning. And those who have no material eyes, they must have spiritual eyes also. Understand? Not that if you have no eyes of flesh, it doesn't mean that you are useless. Actually, there are persons I have seen, they have very great devotion, although they had no eyes. Example is Surdas. Surdas was blind, but he was able to see Radha Krishna's pastimes in his heart, and he wrote such great poetry. Remanjana Srita Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadaiva Hrideshu Vilokayanti Em Shama Sundaram Achinta Guna Swarupam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. One has to have the eyes of love. That is more important, not the eyes of flesh. So Radharani's eyes are transcendental. And the beauty of these Radharani's eyes is manifest as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. So today is the Panchami Tithi. Today is the very auspicious birthday of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. He is Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daita, most beloved of Srimati Radharani. He is Krishna Preshta, very dear to Krishna. Krishna Parikar, an associate of Krishna, and especially within Krishna's Parikars, he is Varshabhani Devi, that is Srimati Radhika's Palyadasi, maid servant. Now that is the most glorious thing about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, that he is the Palyadasi. He is rendering the intimate service to Radha Krishna. Tambularpana Padamardana Payodana Visaradivir Vrindaranya Maheshwari Priyataya Toshayanti Priyam Prana Preshta Saki Kuladapi Kila Sankochita Bhumika Keli Bhumi Shirupa Manjari Mukha Dadasika Samshraye. That in the guidance of Srimati Rupa Manjari is serving as Nayana Manjari, Nayana Mani Manjari. So he is Madhurya Jala Premadde Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute. Offer my respectful obeisance unto you, the personified energy of Shri Chaitanya's mercy, who delivers devotional service which is enriched with conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, coming exactly in the line of a revelation of Shri Rupa Goswami. So he is the personification of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Previously, you see that Gaudiya Sampradaya, there were great acharyas in Gaudiya Sampradaya, no doubt. So after the Sikh Goswamis, there was Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, then Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Prabhu, Srinivas Acharya. After that, there were Vishwanath Chakra Thakur Pad, then Baldev Vidyabhushan Pad. But once Baldev Vidyabhushan Pad disappeared, the Gaudiya Sampradaya started dwindling. It became big problem. And instead of doing Krishna bhajan, the sadhus began to do widow bhajan. They used to collect so many widows, young widows, the young matajis whose husbands have died, and they used to dance with them, smoke cigarettes, drink liquor, and enjoy with them. And they also put kanthi, mala, tilak, everything. So no one would believe the Gaudiya Sampradaya at all. They would say this is complete nonsense. They didn't want to hear the name Gaudiya Sampradaya. If they would hear the name Gaudiya Sampradaya, they would close their ears like this. And what they were doing? They were simply enjoying. And Gaudiya Sampradaya Vaishnavas were called for funeral. For funeral time, they were called. Because they used to sing very beautiful melodies, Hare Krishna mantra, and collect so much money from the people who are mourning for someone's death. So no person from any aristocratic family, no person from any good family would actually ever want to associate with Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So Srila Bhaktinath Thakur was the district magistrate in Puri. He prayed for a very good son. He said, let me have a son who can preach the Krishna consciousness, who can preach bhakti. So that time Srila Bhaktinath Thakur's prayer was answered by the wife of Sri Jagannath Dev. Jagannath Dev's wife is called Bimla Devi. And Bimla Devi, she actually bestowed upon him a great son. When this son was born, he was born with very wonderful marks of kanthi. He was born with beautiful 12 tilaks on his body, Vaishnava tilaks. His umbilical cord was wrapped around his body like a sacred thread, and his arms were extending down up to knees. So in this way, when this great personality, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, appeared in this world, everyone actually was very happy. And Srila Bhaktinath Thakur told his wife Bhagavati Devi, look, Bhagavati Devi, look, this boy is not ordinary boy. Don't think he's an ordinary boy. No boy will be born with 12 tilak marks. No boy will be born like this. He is a very, very special boy. Then what happened? This Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he was named Bimla Prasad. Bimla Prasad. Prasad means mercy. One who has received the mercy of Bimla Devi, one who is the personification of Bimla Devi's mercy, is called Bimla Prasad. This Bimla Prasad was 6 months old In India, there is one ceremony or one sanskara or one impression that is done, and that ceremony is called uh, Annaprashan Sanskara. Annaprashan Sanskara means in that sanskara, the grains are fed to the baby. So that time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the in charge of Jagannath Puri temple. He was in charge of management. So that time what happened? Oh, the Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra, their chariot was actually 3 days uh, present right in front of the house of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur on Grand Trunk Road. Now if you go there is one Chaitanya Gaudiya Math branch there at the birthplace of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. And that place was where Bhaktivinoda Thakur stayed. Bhaktivinoda Thakur stayed in that place. Then it was a very dirty place. Before offering obeisances into that place, people used to think twice. It was only garbage was thrown in that place. But Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Maharaj, disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he could not tolerate the condition of that place. He discussed with his god brothers, and later on they collected some funds. They purchased that land. They renovated that land. And today, by the mercy of Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Maharaj, we have a very wonderful temple there, the birthplace of Srila Prabhupada, and the pastimes of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada are depicted on the wall there in the form of diorama. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he was actually there, and he was ready for his Annaprashan ceremony to accept the grains. Oh, what happened? The chariot of Jagannath 3 days stayed there. Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the administrative officer of Jagannath temple. No one could stop him. He brought the baby in his lap, little Bimla Prasad, 6-month-old boy, and placed at the lotus feet of Sri Jagannath ji. And there was so much prasad there, dal and rice and so many other sweets. So he took little prasad and put in the mouth of this little baby who was 6 months old. Little, only 1 grain. So small baby cannot digest much. Just to initiate him in eating grains. And Vimla Prasad happily ate that prasad. And then what happened? A garland from Jagannath Dev fell on the head of, it fell on the head of Sri Vimla Prasad. When the garland fell at the head of Vimla Prasad, then it realized that actually it's very, very auspicious. Something very auspicious has taken place. Because it is very great sign if the garland of the deity will fall on your head. Understand? So, you can see here that Madhurya Ujjvala Premadya, he has so much of this very precious Unnatojala Parakiyaras. Understand? Absorption in the paramour love of Shishi Radha Krishna in his heart. So you can see that paramour love is actually the great. Paramour love is great. There are two mellows. One is the Swakiya Ras and one is Parakiya Ras. The conjugal love between Krishna and his wedded queens like Satyabhama and Rukmini is called Swakiya Ras. But the conjugal love between Krishna and the gopis is actually called Parakiya Ras, Unnata Ujjvala Ras, Parakiya Ras. Absorption in the paramour mood of Shri Radha Krishna. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he is actually in the Parakiya Ras. Understand? And he is giving this to the world. He was the first person who tried to give this confidential and very high class of Unnatodana Parakiya Vav, not only in Bengal, not only in India, but throughout the entire world. He was so merciful. Understand? This was actually, they call it the treasure of Bengal. Understand? The British ruled India for many years, and they took many precious jewels from India, like Kohinoor, and these diamonds are still in the British Museum. But really speaking, or Buckingham Palace with the Queen. But really speaking, the greatest jewel of India is this Parakiya Ras, Unnato Jwala Ras, the mood of the Palyadasis, the Manjaris. This jewel no one knew outside Bengal. And this jewel was distributed indiscriminately by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada across the whole world. He sent disciples to England, Germany, and America. His alms with Bhakti-Vidanta Ban Maharaj, Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Madhava Goswami Maharaj. Tomorrow we are celebrating I think the appearance day of maybe Prakrut Bhakti Sarang Goswami Maharaj. He also went to England on the order of Srila Prabhupada and Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj, and they preached this Unnatojala Ras all over the world. And the whole world came to know about him. He came to know about it. And this is all credit goes to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. And he's giving us Rupanuga Bhaktida. What is Rupanuga? It is the following the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami in his Gopi farm as Sri Rupa Manjari, who engages in very special services to Radhika. This is called Radha Dasya. Service to the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur spread this throughout the entire world. Understand? So basically, we should understand this. That our aim and objective is Radha Dasya. Shama Sundara Shikhanda Shekhar. Swera Hasa Murali Manohara. Radhika Rasika Mam Krupanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarin Kuru. That, oh Radharani, if you are pleased with me, then bestow upon me your service. Radha Dasya. Oh Krishna, if you are pleased with us, please bestow upon us the service of your beloved consort Radharani. That is what we ask from Krishna. We don't tell Krishna, oh give me your service. No, we don't want direct service of Krishna, devoid of Radharani. But we want a service of Radharani. We know that anyone who is serving Radharani is so dear to Krishna. So today we are offering obeisances unto his lotus feet. That is the place of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Puri, near Satasan Ashram, near where Srila Sarup Damodar and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami lived. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to give classes there, and so many Babajis and others would come to hear. When Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was absent, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would give classes. Gradually, those in Srila Saraswati Thakur's audience all left because his classes were very powerful and he would strongly defeat all arguments of the Sahajiyas, Sakhi Bekis, and other unbona fide groups. The Babajis became upset and stopped coming. So you can see that Srila Satasam Road, we go there, once we went there, Satasam Road, with Sridhar Maharaj Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Shrup Siddhanti Maharaj's ashram there. So Satasam Road means there are 7 great acharyas have done bhajan there. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to give classes there. Many Babajis used to also come and attend. But in the absence, sometimes Bhaktivinoda Thakur was busy, he used to send his son to give class. But when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati gave classes, they stopped attending. Because he used to cut their arguments. He used to cut the jungle. What are the Apasambradayas? These Apasambradayas, they are only engaged in enjoying with the widows in the name of Parakyaras. They say that Radha Krishna are enjoying in the Kunja, half naked kissing. Then we will also do that with our girlfriends. They used to collect so many widows. In Bengal, there are a lot of widows. So they used to collect them and they used to enjoy with them. And then they used to smoke cigarettes and liquor. This is their Parkya Bhajan was going on. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said that first, you do stop this nonsense. Then you are qualified to remember. And don't even try to remember these confidential pastimes. If mango is ripe, then you can climb the tree slowly and then you can get the mango. But by jumping, you cannot get the ripe mango. So don't try to jump. Try to follow from the beginning the life of Raghunath Das Goswami. Don't just follow the last part of his life. So after Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was initiated, he went to Mayapur and began to preach from there. A Sankirtan Mandal, a circular area where Sankirtan is performed, is situated there, where he was performing Sankirtan. After that, he established temples on the 9 islands. Gradually, so many young men came to him and became brahmacharis like my Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and also Srila Ban Maharaj, Srila Nanda Suta Prabhu, Nanda Sunu Brahmachari, Shripad Madhav Maharaj, Shripad Giri Maharaj, Shripad Narari Prabhu, Mahananda Prabhu, Shripad Paramahamsa Maharaj, and thousands of other devotees were there. He used to give Harinam and then Diksha and Sannyas also. Then they began to preach all over the world. So you can see here, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada in the beginning was alone. But slowly, Shri Kunja Bihari Prabhu, the Nanda Sunu Brahmachari, Bhakti-Vidanta Maharaj, he was from a Brahmin family. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, Ramananda Prabhu, then Srila Haigriva Brahmachari, that was Sri Bhakti-Vedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj, Srila Vinod Bihari Brahmachari, Sri Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu, they all started helping him. Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu was grust in the beginning, but he used to follow from household life also, he was to follow very strictly the instructions of Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu had only one desire in his heart. How I can fulfill the desire of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Prabhupada to preach the mission in the Western world. So Narhari Seva Vigraha Prabhu, he is called the mother of the Gaudiya Math. He used to work so hard. He used to chant 64 rounds, staying awake in the night, and the whole day he used to serve in the Gaudiya Math. Very caring devotee. And Mahananda Prabhu, Paramahansa Maharaj, thousands and thousands of great devotees. All the devotees are sent by Radharani. I think they all were the maidservants of Radharani who had come just to assist Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Years later in Kolkata, Srila Saraswati Thakur became very sick and was soon to leave his body. On the last night before he gave up his body, all the disciples were with him, especially his prominent sannyasis, brahmacharis and grihastha devotees. He told them, for the preaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, I have given so much trouble to others. One day they will realize it was not trouble. I have done this for their own welfare. One day they will realize this. So actually Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada used to speak sometimes very harshly to cut the arguments. Cut the arguments of others. And maybe it is troublesome. When doctor does an operation, he removes the boil, then it is very painful. But in the end, it gives total relief from that ailment. So like that, he used to do small, minor or major surgery on the heart of his audience. So it might be sometimes painful to hear Prabhupada because he used to speak sometimes very harsh words. But he said they will realize it was for their benefit. If mother and father will chastise the child, it is for the benefit of the mother and child. So if you can tolerate the criticism or the corrections given by Gurudev, or if you can tolerate the chastisement of your Guru Maharaj, then you will never have to face the chastisement of Yamaraj. If you listen to the chastisement of Gurudev and being disciplined by him, then Yamaraj will not be able to control you. And those who don't listen to Gurudev, then they will be taken care by Yamaraj. Understand? So we have to be very tolerant. When some senior Vaishnava will chastise us, Gurudev will chastise us, we should be very, very obedient. This is no problem. I am a mistake. I accept it. Please forgive me. And we should correct our behavior. So he told them, we should do bhajan of Srimati Radhika and Krishna under the guidance of Ashray Tattva, that is Guru Tattva. Understand? Krishna is Vishya Tattva and Srimati Radhika is Ashray Tattva. And those who serve her and appear as pure devotee in this world are also Ashray Tattva, under her guidance. We should be under their guidance. So basically there are two tattvas. One is Vishya Tattva, that is Krishna is Vishya Tattva, is the supreme enjoyer. But Srimati Radharani, she is Ashray Tattva. She is the receptacle of love. She carries that love for Krishna in her heart. And she is the chief Ashray Tattva. She is the enjoyed. But there are also smaller Ashray Tattvas, that is Guru Maharaj. Our Guru Varga, they are also Ashray Tattva. They are also serving Krishna under the guidance of Radharani. So they are also Ashray Tattva. They are also maid servants of Radharani. And we should take shelter of any such maid servant of Radharani appearing as a Mahanta Guru Acharya and do our bhajan. Understand? So here, this body is rotten and after some days, it will totally rot and be burnt to ashes. If not this, then it will be buried and so many insects will come out of it. Still though it is rotten even now, you should offer it to Krishna. Don't criticize anyone. This is my advice. You should all combine together and preach my mission. This was his instruction. The body is rotten. Try to understand. For example, this body is made of chapati, rice, dal, sabji, idli, dosa, sambar, like this. These foodstuffs don't stay good for 12 hours. In hot season like Tirupati, the sambar prepared in the morning, evening it is spoiled. Understand? So, how can the body which is made of idli and dosa stay good? It is already rotten. But all that is rotten, it is actually very, very beneficial for service of Krishna. We should offer it to Krishna with tulsi upon it. Anything that is to be offered to Krishna must be offered along with a tulsi leaf or tulsi wood. So therefore, all that is body is rotten, we put kanthi mala and we offer it to Krishna's service. Where if it tulsi is there in the neck, then Krishna will accept that service. That is what Gurudev does. The very first thing, he will put the tulsi neck beads. Any person who doesn't have tulsi neck beads, then you cannot accept even water from that person. The scriptures say like that. Because that person is impure in consciousness. Understand? So, and he always used to say, don't criticize anyone. Parasvabhava karmani na samshayit na garahet vishwam ekatmakam pashyan prakritya purushinicha. Parasvabhava karmani ya samsati garhati sa ashu brashyate swartat asatso virivisham. Those who criticize others, whether that criticism is valid or invalid, whether that criticism is justified or unjustified, it will invoke the fall down of a Vaishnava. The job of criticism, chastisement is for Guru. Disciples, they should not criticize anyone. Even a lusty fellow, angry fellow, thieves, rogues, cheats, dacoits, we don't criticize them. This is his instruction he gave. He said, we should all combine together and preach my mission. There should be unity. He also explained Pratyaksha Gyan, direct sense perception. Now, what is direct sense perception? The knowledge that you get by your eyes. For example, I see these glasses, they are black in color. I see some electric board is white in color. I see milk, it is white in color. I see some object like tomato, it is red in color. This knowledge is by the eyes. So, Akshaja Gyan, there is Pratyaksha Gyan. Pratyaksha means knowledge you get by your senses called Pratyaksha Gyan, direct sense perception knowledge. There is also some type of knowledge called Paroksha Gyan. Paroksha Gyan means I have not seen the heaven, I have not seen the hell, but I know that if I do something wrong, like drinking liquor, smoking cigarettes, or associate with women who I am not married to, have illicit sex, all these things, or eat meat, fish, sex, then what will happen? I will go to hell. Although no one has seen hell, but we believe that there is hell, because scriptures talk about hell elaborately. Also, if you behave nicely, if you give charity, then pious merit, you feed the hungry people, you open orphanages, you open old age homes for elderly men and women, then you'll go to heaven. If you act nicely, plant trees, dig wells for satiating the thirst of the people, then what will happen? You'll go to heaven. This is called Paroksha Gyan. Paroksha means this is the knowledge about heaven and hell. Aparoksha Gyan is about liberation. Shankaracharya talked about it, that you are not this body. Aham Brahmasmi. I am a spirit soul. I am a part and parcel of Krishna. This is called Shankaracharya's Gyan, Aparoksha Gyan. But beyond that, the knowledge given by Ramanujacharya about Vaikuntha planet, that Ramanujacharya told, oh, there are two gatekeepers, Jai, Vijay. There is a commander-in-chief of Lord Narayan's army, Vishwaksen. There Lakshmi is massaging the feet of Narayan. Narayan has a very wonderful vehicle, Garuda. Hanuman is there. And this is they are doing service to Narayan. And all this, Nanda, Sunanda, they are serving Narayan. There's Bhudevi, Sri Devi, Leela Devi. These three Devis are there. This is all knowledge about Vaikuntha planet. Everyone there is young, no old age there, no disease there. All this is Vaikuntha knowledge. This is also what Ramanujacharya gave. But beyond that is Aprakrut Gyan, the Sri Krishna's pastimes and Braj. So that is what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada gave. He explained to us what is Pratyaksha Gyan, what is the Paroksha Gyan, what is Aparoksha Gyan, what is the Gyan about the Vaikuntha planet, Adokshaja Gyan. Then what is the knowledge about Brajadham? That is Aprakrut Jnana. That is the topmost knowledge. He said that suffering may come. Do not try to simply avoid suffering. You should know what is the aim and object of your life and your bhajan is. Wholeheartedly perform bhajan and Krishna. After speaking about this, he did not speak anything. The suffering will come, whether you invite it or not. Understand?
Happiness will also come. Whether you like it or not, happiness will come. The suffering will also comes uninvited. The easiest way of to get rid of suffering is to just tolerate it. That is the easiest way. Understand? Any disease, the best way is actually to just tolerate. Understand? Because many times we take too many medicines, that this doctor, that doctor, doctor. If the disease is not mitigated, then you should simply chant the holy name and wait, wait that disease to go away. Understand? Because eventually your prarabdha karma will dissipate. Uh, Past karma will dissipate. It's by suffering that. So suffering may come, but do not try to avoid suffering. That is what he said. After the departure of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada from this world, my Guru Maharaj arranged a train with so many bogies, and with the help of other devotees, he brought Srila Prabhupada to Calcutta to Mayapur. Guru Maharaj personally gave him Samadhi at that time, and the Samadhi we see now was given by Guru Maharaj. So actually, I heard that he left the world in Kolkata, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. So there was a debate whether they should give him Samadhi in Kolkata or take to Mayapur. But Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj said, no, we should take Prabhupada's transcendental body to Mayapur. And all the devotees from Kolkata should travel. We should book the entire train. So they booked the entire train going all the way to the Navadvip station or Krishnanagar station. And then they brought the transcendental body of Prabhupada by the train, and then Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, our Guru Maharaj, Param Guru Maharaj, he gave Samadhi by his own hands. During Srila Prabhupada's lifetime, some prominent sannyasis, complaining amongst themselves, decided, will no longer go to preach and give money to Prabhupada, because he gives all the money to Kunja Bihari, the temple manager, and Kunja Bihari sends it to his family. Understand? So there was actually Srila Kunja Bihari Prabhuji. The Kunja Bihari Prabhu was one of the senior devotees joining Srila Prabhupada. Later on, his name became his divine grace Srimad Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Daivata Maharaj. So the devotees used to collect door to door preaching. Then used to bring the money, and Prabhupada used to give the money to Srila Kunja Bihari Prabhu, because he was the manager of Gaudiyam at that time, temple manager. And Kunja Bihari Prabhu, I think, had brother and all, so they used to send some money to his brother for education, this, that. So Pujapa Sridhar Maharaj went to Srila Prabhupada and told him the fact, and added, the devotees want to strike. Means the devotees were very upset that Prabhupada is giving money to Kunja Bihari Prabhu and Kunja Bihari Prabhu is sending the family. So they wanted to undergo a strike. That we will not go and collect. We will stop the collection, going door to door begging, preaching, we will stop. So Srila Prabhupada replied, your head has burnt. You have no power to understand about anything. My disciples have all left their responsibilities, their homes, fathers, mothers, money and everything else. They were not poor when they left home and came to the temple. Kunja Bihari is managing, so I am giving him money as a salary, and we are preaching throughout the world. You are not understanding this. So, Srila Prabhupada told that you have left your mother, your father, your job, your career, and you have joined the mud, not for money, for salary. As far as the money I am giving to Kunja Bihari Prabhu, because Kunja Bihari Prabhu is a very expert manager. If you hire any manager, you will suddenly have to pay him some money. So like that, I am like a salary, I am giving it to Kunja Bihari Prabhu, because he is managing Gaudiya Math so nicely. And we are preaching all over the world. So, you should try to understand this. And then Prabhupada told them that if you want salary, I will give the salary to you also, to brahmacharis also. Why you are complaining against Kunja Bihari Prabhu? Then Sridhar Maharaj understood. Sridhar Maharaj understood the deep meaning of the words of the spiritual master and returned to explain this to the other sannyasis. So this is actually the thing. So we are praying to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhaktishimate Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Namine. He is what? Bhaktisiddhanta is what? He is the personification of the doctrines of Bhakti, Bhaktisiddhanta. What is Bhaktisiddhanta? Actually, you'll see that Krishna haite chatur mukha, hai Krishna sevan mukha, Brahma haite narade ramati, narada haite vyasa, Madhvakaye Vyasa Dasa Purna Pragya Padma Nabhagati. The knowledge which Krishna, the original spiritual master, gave it to Lord Brahma, that is Bhaktisiddhanta. What Bhagavan Sri Krishna told Brahmaji that I was in the beginning and at the even after the annihilation of this material world, I will exist. I am eternal. This knowledge, what he gave in Chatushloki Bhagavatam, 4 verses of Bhagavatam, oh, that is what is Bhakti Siddhanta. Then Brahma gave that knowledge, Bhagavatam in the seed form to Narad. Narad gave that knowledge to Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva was perplexed. Because Vyasadeva had written Puranas, but he was still perplexed and not happy. So Narad gave him the indication to write Krishna's pastimes. That is what is Bhakti Siddhanta. Then Vyasadeva gave that knowledge to his disciple Madhvacharya, and then it came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then to our Guru Maharaj. So that is what is Bhakti Siddhanta. Bhakti Siddhanta means the knowledge of devotional service. That is Gauravani. So now let us try to understand. His name is Bhaktisiddhanta. And the second word is used for his name is Sarasvati. Now let's try to understand the Saraswati word. There are 2 Saraswatis. One is Shuddha Saraswati and one is Viddha Saraswati. Saraswati is actually the consort of Lord Brahma in Satyaloka. But that is not the Saraswati we worship. We worship Shuddha Saraswati. And that Shuddha Saraswati is Vidya Vadhu Jivanam in Shikshashtaka. She is the knowledge of devotional service, transcendental knowledge is called Saraswati. So Saraswati Devi was born on Panchami, the 5th day in the lunar cycle. Like 5 days ago, there was Purnima, new moon, full moon day. And 5th day is today, Panchami. This Panchami day, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada appeared. And Saraswati Devi also appears on Panchami day. So that's why Bhakti-Vidanta Institute in Mayapur, they decided that they will give holiday on Panchami and Ekadashi day. Generally speaking, since the British ruled India, the holiday, school holidays and college holidays were on Sundays. Because Sundays, the day the Christians go to the church to pray. So that's why they give holidays on Sundays. But actually for Indian culture, more suitable to have fasting day like Ekadashi to be holiday, and also Panchami, the birthday of Saraswati, to be holiday. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada represents Shuddha Saraswati, the pure transcendental knowledge. Understand? And he is called Prabhupada. What is Prabhupada? Prabhu means Radha Krishna. Prabhu means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is serving Shachinandan Gaurahari, who is Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and especially he is serving Radha Krishna. He is preaching the glories of Gaur Nityananda Prabhu all over the world. So he is called Prabhupada. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale. He was very near and dear to Krishna. Very near and dear in that male form. But who was he really? In the second verse of his Pranam Mantra it is stated, Shri Varshabhanave Devi Daitai Krupabdaya. He is really the eternal maidservant of Srimati Radhika. He is so very dear to Radhika in the form of Nayana Manjari. Let us try to understand Prabhupada's 2 Swarupas. In the Golak Vrindavan, in the spiritual sky, which is the topmost planet, Brahma Samhita explains, Golokanam Niyadhamni Tale Jatasya Devi Mahesharidam Asuteshu Teshu Ete Prabhava Nichata Vihita Shena Govindamadi Purisham Tamam Bhajami. Sitting on the lotus, emanating from the navel of Garbhodasha Vishnu, Brahmaji is looking upwards and seeing the spiritual planets in his trance. And he is telling the topmost planet is Golokadha. And below that there are other planets. In Goloka Vrindavan also has 2 compartments. One is the Madhurya compartment where the sweet, sweet mood of love and affection of Radha Krishna is there. And there is also Audara compartment that is full of magnanimity. And that compartment of that Golok Vrindavan, there is so much magnanimity. Means there the distribution of the Radha Krishna's love is going on through Nama Sankirtan. And that compartment of Golok Vrindavan is called Shvetadvip. So Shvetadvip means white island. Shweta means white, Dvipa means island. That island has so many cows. Krishna's island has so many cows that the milk of those cows will make the entire island white. Understand? Like, so that's why Shweta Deepa. So there, in Mahaprabhu's compartment is called Shweta Deep, and Radha Krishna's compartment is called Vrindavan. So Shweta Deep and Vrindavan constitute Golok Vrindavan. Golok has two compartments. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada is serving Mahaprabhu also in Shweta Deep, but in one form is also serving Radha Krishna as the maid servant, and that is his form as Nayana Manjari or Nayana Mani Manjari. Understand? So he is the beauty personified of Radharani's eyes. As Mahaprabhu's associate, he is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, and as the associate of Radha Krishna is Nayana Manjari. What is the meaning of the name Nayana Manjari? As one's eyes are very dear to one, Nayana Manjari, who is the personification of the eyes of Srimati Radhika, is so near and dear to her. She is always serving Srimati Radhika. You can see the intimacy between Radharani and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Because Radharani loves her eyes, and therefore the beauty of her eyes is also very dear to Radharani, and that is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada personified. And therefore Prabhupada also loves Radharani like her own eyes. So thus he has two forms. One form is as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associate, and not only in the world but also in Golok Vrindavan, in Shwetadeep, and in Vrindavan also as Nayana Manjari. She serves Srimati Radhika. You have seen in Sri Raghunath Das Goswami's Vilap Kusumanjali how the Manjari serves Sri Radhika, Sri Radha Krishna. Nayana Mani Manjari serves them in those same ways. So Vilapa Kusumanjali is the book written by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Padabjo Svinato Varadasyamewa Nanyat Kadapi Samay Kiladeviyache Sakhyayate Mama Namostu Namostu Nityam Dasayate Mama Rasostu Rasustu Satyam. There, in the form of Tulsi Manjari, Rati Manjari, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami is pleading to Radharani that I want to be your maid servant. I don't want the position of a Sakhi. I don't want to be your confidante. I don't want to be a Sakhi. I want to be your maid servant. And that same mood Srila Prabhupada had. He wanted to serve Radharani. He wanted to become Paladasi. So Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's Krupabdaya, an endless ocean of mercy. He was the first Acharya in the four Sampradayas to desire that all the people in the world, all those who have forgotten Krishna, should realize all the truths of Bhakti and be helped to become pure devotees. So you can see, Madhvacharya came, Sri Ramanujacharya came, Sri Vishnu Swami came, Sri Nimbaditya Swami came. But did they preach outside India? No, their preaching was confined only to India. It never went across the India. But it was a desire of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. That's why he sent his alms. Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Maharaj, Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti-Pratit Maharaj, Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj, our Guru Maharaj, Guru Govind Maharaj, all went to the Dandi Maharaj. They all are arms of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. They are preaching across the length and breadth of the whole world. This is their mercy. Understand? This is their mercy. Previously it is told that if anyone will visit these deshas, unnecessarily if you visit America, Europe or China or Africa, then if you go out of India, then you will have to do atonement. And you are called, unnecessarily you travel to these countries for no reason, then you are contaminated. But you are never contaminated if you go for Krishna's cause. You are preaching Krishna consciousness, and if you visit these countries, then you are not contaminated. Rather, you are purified by doing that. So Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj, he traveled to the West America and he purified them. So that's why it is told that Bhagavan is called Prabha Vishnu. Prabha Vishnu means he is very powerful. He is very powerful. His name is also very powerful. He can purify even those who are fallen persons. And the devotees are also Prabha Vishnu. They are also very powerful. They can deliver the fallen souls. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he was so merciful. Understand? If Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had not sent his disciples here and there, none of you in any country would have met pure devotees. Now by the mercy of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, to Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj and my Gurudev, Krishna Kirtan is everywhere in the world. Everyone knows Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha and Krishna only by their mercy. Srila Prabhupada had the wish, and then he sent his alms here and there. Who are his alms? His disciples, his devotees. At first he sent Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Maharaj and others, and then he sent Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj. They are there for the alms and they are preaching everywhere. So you can see that Bhakti-Vidanta Maharaj, he never used to wear shoes. But Prabhupada told him, yes, I will bring you very expensive shoes. And he brought for him expensive shoes costing so many rupees that time. And Prabhupada said that then Bhakti-Vidanta Maharaj, who never used to wear shoes, he wore those shoes and came before Prabhupada. Prabhupada was so happy. He said, you have renounced even the renunciation. Renunciation should also be renounced for the service of Krishna. Understand? You gave up your vow of not wearing shoes for the service of Krishna. Because first dress and then address. If you are going to meet the big persons in England, if you are not dressed properly, they will never listen to your message. So he got him the very expensive shoes, expensive dress, so that he can preach. That was his ardent desire that he should preach, his disciples should preach in the Western world. We are very fortunate to come in their line, but we should try to be very strong. Sometimes if you are not in good association, you become weak. So that is the thing. If you are not in the association of sadhus, not hearing regularly Harikatha, then you will become weak. Satam prasangan mamavirya samvido bhavanti rutkarna rasayana katha tajoshnat ashapa varga vartmani shraddharatir bhaktyana kramshi. That Kapil Dev is telling Mother Devhuti that association with sadhus is so important. If you want to reach higher and higher stages of bhakti, like Shraddha, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, Prem, then you have to associate with sadhus, hear their Harikatha. Because, see, for example, there are two types of medicines. One medicine is very bitter, like Mahasudarshan Churna or Neem decoction or Nepali Neem Chirayata decoction. If you drink it, your mouth will distort and, and you'll feel like vomiting. That is also very bitter medicine. And there are some medicines that are very sweet in Ayurveda. They are like elixir, like juice. So what would a patient prefer? Very bitter medicine which gives vomiting sensation or very sweet medicine? So therefore in Ayurveda also there is Bhasma Chikitsa. Like for example, many minerals are burnt and from them they make the ash and that ash is given as a medicine, Bhasma Chikitsa. But in Ayurveda, there is also Rasa Chikitsa. Rasa Chikitsa means sweet juices are given as medicine. People generally prefer Rasa Chikitsa because it is sweet and very tolerable. Actually, it's pleasant to take. Some Ayurvedic medicines are so tasty that people like to drink more. So, we want to hear Harikatha. Harikatha is the sweetest medicine. Karma, Yoga, Gyan actually very bitter. But Harikatha is very, very sweet. Shunvatam Sakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Radhyantastaya Badrani Viduti Sutta. So Harikatha, but we should try to hear Harikatha. If we don't associate with sadhus, then we will become fall down. So Gurudev is telling here, don't be weak. Always realize that our whole Guru Parampara, Radha Krishna, Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu and Guru are always with you and they will help you. Don't give up chanting and remembering Krishna. So you are not alone. Understand? In India, I remember that a baby is born, he is the baby of the whole village. He would have so many mother, then grandmother, then aunt, maternal aunt, paternal aunt, neighbors, everyone would take care of the baby. So like that, we have babies. We have so many father, mother, one father, one mother, but then also uncles, grandfathers, great-grandfathers. The whole Guru Parampara is watching us. Every moment they are looking after us. So don't become hopeless, Gurudev used to say. Krupabdai, he is not called an ocean of mercy only because he gave us Harinam. He gave us so much more. He brought Golak Vrindavan and brought the love of Radha and Krishna to this world, of the gopis. If he has not brought all these things, we would never have heard them. He is therefore an ocean of mercy. So many times we think, oh, Gurudev gave us some 32 syllable mantra, Hare Krishna mantra. What he has given us? Actually, he has not given us Harinam. He has given us Radha Krishna. This Hare Krishna mantra is actually Radha Krishna only. The Japamala he has given us 108 beads. What does 108 beads mean? 108 gopis. What is the Meru Mani? The crest jewel means. It has two parts. If you see the crest jewel of your Japamala, it has two portions. One is Radha, one is Krishna. So giving Japamala means he has given us the entire Rasa Mandal, Rasa Leela in the form of Tulsi beads. And he has given the deep moods. So that is what is the heart-to-heart communication of this Shuddha Bhakti line, empowerment. So therefore, don't think that he has just given us Harinam. He has given actually entire Golok Vrindavan to us. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur taught that there are 5 kinds of knowledge: Pratyaksha, Paroksha, Aparoksha, and Aprakya. The knowledge of everything we see and realize by our direct sense experience is called Pratyaksha knowledge. Now, this Pratyaksha knowledge is very prominent. All the scientists, they are only stressing Pratyaksha knowledge. They say that we show us, then only we believe it. But are they able to see the coronavirus? They don't see it, but they believe that it exists. Can you see your mind? Can you see intelligence or lack of it? No. This is Pratyaksha Praman, or the direct sense perception as evidence, is very weak evidence. But then there is Paroksha knowledge, like heaven and hell. Understand? So, there is heaven also. For example, we hear that there is a thief, there is a dacoit, debauch, then he will go to hell. Understand? So there are different types of sins. Sin of killing any animal is also a very big sin. But killing a human being, even worse sin. Killing a pregnant woman, killing a Brahman, killing a Vaishnava, very, very big sin. Stealing money, that is very big sin. Drinking liquor, very big sin. This will take us to hell. But if you practice devotional service, then it is the best atonement for these sins. But not that we should commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting. But pious person will go to heaven. So this is called Paroksha Gyan. And Aparoksha Gyan is taught by Shankaracharya. One day we will have to die and we will have to give up everything in this world. Understand? Mrityu sarvaharasyaham, Bhagavan tells in Bhagavad Gita, that death will take away everything from you. Your mother, father, job, career, bank balance, identity, degrees, education, everything you have to leave behind. That's why always, this is what Shankaracharya told, our beauty will go. Beauty will go. Srila Gurudev is giving an example here. There is a Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss India. There is a competition, contest. Many beautiful teenage girls participate in this and they win this contest. But after 1 year, they are not chosen again as Miss World. After 20 years, no one wants to look at it. After 30 years, oh, very bad. So this beauty is deteriorating. So Srila Gurudev is telling that beauty is fleeting. Understand? So don't be attached. This is what Shankaracharya told. An intelligent person thinks about this and becomes detached. But a bogus, foolish person remains attached to sense gratification. He used to tell us, Gurudev, old age will marry by a force. You will have to become old one day. But don't be attached. So you see that although engaged in chanting and remembering, many devotees are also engaged in sense gratification and they cannot give up lust. So actually it is very difficult. Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samadbhava mahashano mahapapma vidyanam yavairinam. So this actually, kama is the greatest enemy we have. So there are many devotees, we see that devotees are chanting and remembering, but at the same time they cannot give up attachment to opposite sex or sense gratification. This is Maya. So Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati sent his qualified devotees everywhere to make those weak devotees strong. He wanted to encourage them and say, you should remember Krishna. It is for this reason that he has sent his arms. I am also coming. So Srila Gurudev is telling that I am touring the Western world because Western world is a fortress of Maya. There is so much Maya in the Western world. In India, there is not as much Maya. Srila Gurudev told once that America is like the heavenly planet. And it is quite impossible to do bhajan in America because there are so much sense gratification opportunities out there. But in India, there is not many opportunities for sense gratification. That's why India is always better place for bhajan. Understand? But this is what Gurudev told. But anyways, there are always devotees living in America, South Africa, Europe, Hong Kong, China, Japan, Turkey. Gurudev has to also encourage them. And therefore, Srila Gurudev, he went everywhere. And he was also the arm of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. His disciple Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj has ordered me, my Swamiji, that is Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Swami Maharaj, has ordered me, so you should not be weak, never and never. Srila Gurudev again and again is pleading to us, don't become weak, don't become hopeless. But then Adokshaja, what is Adokshaja? Adokshaja means Vaikuntha. Vai means not and Kuntha means anxiety. That place which is free from anxiety, and that is called Vaikuntha planet. So Sri Ramanujacharya gave us that knowledge. Shantakaram, Bhujagashayanam, Padmanabham, Sunesham, Vishwadharam, Ganasadrasham. So by worshipping the Narayan, we go to one planet, and that is the knowledge called Adhokshaja Jnana, Adhokshaja conception. But even higher, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada gave us, even higher, and that is the Aprakrut Gyan. Aprakrut Gyan is that realm where Raja Leela is performed. Krishna is sometimes like a baby there. And there he is controlled by his father and mother, he is controlled by his beloved gopis, and he is controlled by his friends. And no one can ever imagine such very, very sweet pastimes. So that is the Aprakrut Leela Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada gave us. That Krishna is a baby there. He is drinking Mother Yashoda's milk. He is playing with his sakhas. He is enjoying Rasla with the gopis. That is Aprakrut Leela. So we should try to know this Aprakrut. We should try to serve Aprakrut Krishna, who is with so many gopis, with his friends and mother, with his sakhas, and with all his cows, and very sweet cow herding pastimes. This is the aim and object of our life. Service to this Krishna. This is Aprakrut Gyan. Understand? The fifth and topmost knowledge which Prabhupada gave us is Aprakrut Gyan. How mother is serving Krishna, how gopis are serving Krishna, how Krishna is serving the gopis, how he is enjoying pastime with sakhas. These pastimes are called Aprakrut Gyan. So today is also disappearance day of Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Sri Gaur Govind Maharaj. Sri Gaur Govind Maharaj was disciple of Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj, very exalted Vaishnava. He was born in Orissa. He was a teacher by profession, but he developed detachment and he gave up his family and he took sannyas from Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj, and he did bhajan in Bhubaneswar. And in Bhubaneswar, on the outskirts of Bhubaneswar city, he built a small hut, and Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj visited him. And he translated many books of Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj to the Odia language. Also, he had very deep realizations about Jagannath pastimes. Once Gurudev read a book written by him about Jagannath pastimes, and Gurudev said that Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj knows so many secrets about Jagannath and the reason of Jagannath's advent in this world, and what is the heart of Jagannath. That Jagannath is Radha Viraha Vidhur, is feeling separation from Radharani, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna Viraha Vidhur. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is feeling separation from Krishna. He said, only a very pure Rasik Vaishnava can understand these deep secrets. So Srila Gurudev always used to glorify Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj, saying that he was a very honest and pure devotee. So we also offer Shraddhanjali to him. Also, many other tithis are there. I think Bhakti Bhudev Shoti Goswami Maharaj, also Jagadish Pandit ji. But time is up, I think. 1 hour I will speaking. Hare Krishna. So, if you have any questions, please let me know. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. If anyone has any questions, Hare Krishna. Because our stipulated time is 1 hour. Even if I speak whole night, it is not possible to glorify Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada enough. But I gave some idea. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, pranams. Thank you so much for
Hare
always
Krishna.
coming and giving us your time
Hare
and
Krishna.
always blessing us with your. And a lot of new devotees are here, Maharaj. I think they know you, so yeah, they on. So thank you so much, Maharaj, for
Hare
coming and always giving us your time and blessing. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Devotees,
Welcome.
any questions? Hong Kong devotees, you can type in the chat and I will translate for Maharaj.
Hare
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, Prabhu.
When is your next class, Maharaj? Are you giving weekly classes or just this is a one time because of Bhaktisiddhanta's Maharaj appearance day?
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, Vishakha Didi, that Didi was there, Vishanti Naidu. I will forward to you all the announcements. And every week there is a class. One class is there. And these are special tithis are coming. Generally, we are discussing Shri Madhurya Kadambini of Vishwanacharya Thakur. And but then the special tithis are coming, and it is very, very beneficial for our bhakti to glorify these great Vaishnavas. So therefore, we are discussing their great character. Because by celebrating the appearance day and disappearance day of pure devotees, I think whenever there is any appearance day or disappearance day, our Gurudev and also Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Bharati Maharaj, he taught us that we must discuss their character. Because by that we will get their mercy and we will make so much more progress. So therefore, we will continue to discuss. Every day I think there is tithi. Every day there is a tithi. Because tomorrow also, I think appearance day of Srila Aprakur Bhakti Sarang Goswami Maharaj, who went to England. Understand? So there are so many sweet pastimes about him also. So we'll regularly discuss them in our classes. So we'll let you know, Prabhuji, through telegram, Mohan Prabhu, and we'll let you know.
And
We'll keep you in the loop.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, the other thing I want to tell you or ask you, Maharaj, is that can you record this one and send it to us, because sometimes it's too late for us to hear this one, and maybe we can go over the recording and send it to people who cannot wake up at that time.
Yeah, Vishakha Didi can figure it out. This is actually the Google Meet. I know that Zoom has that facility to recording, but I don't know whether Google Meet has that. You have to do some research. But it can be recorded, at least the audio, then that can be given on your. Actually, this is Mohan Ramaswamy, Prabhu Mohan
Yes.
Prabhu. He is actually a very good friend of Sripad Dandi Maharaj. From long time ago, I remember Sripad Dandi Maharaj used to stay in his house. And also he's our friend from New York. Even before I was initiated, I knew Mohan Prabhu. He used to come to the Hoyt Skimmeron Street Temple, Brooklyn Temple of ISKCON. He is a very, very old devotee, and he has helped Sripad Dandi Maharaj so much. So his wife Lakshmi and Mohan Prabhu have so much done, so much given so much service to Maharaj. So actually, we are all indebted to him, and he is actually also having some meetings on Zoom and Singapore, and morning Japa session and all. I will forward that link to you also on Facebook. So like that, those who are in that time zone, Singapore, China, Hong Kong, then they can also take advantage of that satsang. I'll also appear there sometimes. Understand? So, Mohan Prabhu, and I thank all of you that you are doing good job because there are three murdangas. One is the clay murdanga, which is heard only 100 feet, 200 feet, or half kilometer at the most, if it is very quiet. And there is also the Burad Murdanga, the book distribution. That is very important. We have to distribute the books of Prabhupada, Gurudev. Also, there is Jivanta Murdanga, the living Murdanga. A sadhu or sannyasi is called living Murdanga. So our spiritual Sripad Dandi Maharaj is a living Murdanga, Jivanta Murdanga. My Guru Maharaj was a Jivanta Murdanga, living Murdanga. But I think this is the E-Murdanga. E-Murdanga means electronic Murdanga. And this Harikatha, Zoom and Google Meet, this is called E-Murdanga. Fourth type of Murdanga is invented. So otherwise, I told Sripad Dandi Maharaj that it is impossible to get United States visa or South Africa visa. Once my South Africa visa was also rejected. And with this Corona time, so then Maharaj said that, don't worry Maharaj, don't be perplexed. There will be so many classes opportunity on internet. And so today I started giving class in Tirupati temple. Maybe 2-3 Matajis were there. And then Mohan Prabhu was online. So I felt very encouraged. Okay, at least Mohan Prabhu is listening. Then Kumar Prabhu came, he started translating. And more devotees joined. So it encourages us also that there are some listeners. Because by glorifying Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, the speaker is purified, listener is purified, the whole environment is purified. Otherwise, I would have wasted this time in some other mundane pursuit. But because there are some listeners, I like to read Srila Gurudev's lectures. Uh, Previously, frankly speaking, I never used to read Gurudev's lectures so much. But now I have to give classes. I am forced to leave. Forced. Every day there is a class in Tirupati temple. So every day, 1 hour, I have to read and explain to them. So this is actually, that's why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Prabhupada used to say that I have not initiated even a single disciple. He said, I have initiated only the gurus. All my disciples are actually my gurus. Why? Because if they were not there, I would not speak Harikatha. I would not speak Harikatha. They are making me speak Harikatha, so they are my gurus. I am not their guru. My disciples are my gurus, he used to say. I am not initiating disciples. He used to say, I am initiating gurus. Understand? So that's why anyone who's Parikshit Maharaj is also glorious. Shukdev Goswami is also glorious. That's why Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami used to say that I am thankful to my audience also. Those who are reading this book, Chaitanya Charitamrita, I also do pranam to them because they are not ordinary persons. Those who are reading this book of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Understand? So those who are hearing Harikatha, the speaker is thankful to them. And because if there are no listeners, then the speaker cannot speak any Harikatha. Hare Krishna. Hare
Krishna. Haribo. Maharaji, I have the classes recorded in Gurudev's Amrita Bindu group. So if Mohan Prabhu can give me his number and if he's on WhatsApp, I can add Prabhuji to the group because on Mondays we do with Vishnu Daivata Maharaj Madhurya Kadambini generally, but today is an auspicious day, so we ask Maharaj to speak. And then on Fridays, again with Vishnu Daivata Maharaj, we do Sri Chaitanya Charitam Lilamrita we started. And on Saturdays, Shripad Dandi Maharaj comes on. So we have other classes, Prabhu. So if you have WhatsApp and if you okay to give your number, then I can just add you to the group. At any classes we go ahead with, you would get the links and the recordings.
Yeah, I will forward his number to you, Didi. Yeah.
Okay, Maharaj.
Thank
you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So
Thank you.
Maharaj, forward to Mataji my number and WhatsApp number.
I will. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj.
This is disciple of Shripad Dandi Maharaj. She is living in the Durban area, KwaZulu-Natal also. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Hare Krishna Maharaj ki Jai.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much for your class, Maharaj. Maharaj, forward us the Telugu link to Maharaj. I'd like to watch that, please.
Yeah, Telugu classes are live every evening. Or I will send you on Telegram. I will send you the audio. I record the audio.
Okay.
There is one disciple of Srila Dandi Maharaj, Jagdish Prabhu. He translates my classes from English to Telugu. So audio, I don't know how clear it is, but I will send you every day my evening classes on Telegram.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Vishnu Daivata Maharaj ki Jai. Vancha kalpa trubhyasya kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Gurudev Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai.
Maharaj, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm turning off. Thank you.
Sorry. 1 minute. I didn't see a message came from the Hong Kong devotees. So they say Gaudiya Math became 64 Gaudiya Math. Is it the heart desires of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Prabhupada after his disappearance? Maharaji?
I think Maharaj switched off, Vishaka.
Yes, I'll just WhatsApp call Maharaj and put him on loudspeaker. 1 minute. Sorry, I think Maharaj's data went off actually. But Didi, we will ask Maharaj on Wednesday. I think we will be having Madhurya Kadambini classes because we missed today, and then we would ask Maharaj again for the question. So thank you, dear devotees, for joining today, and we will see you all on Monday, and I will send the link. Hare Krishna, Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, everyone. Thank you all.